Ready? Ready? Okay. All right. Good evening. The time is now 6:16, and I call this a regular meeting of the Freeport Economic Development Corporation to order. Item 2, we'll have our invocation and pledge. Ken, can you do our invocation? And David, can you do the pledge, please? Thank you.
Father, we come to you this evening thanking you for the beautiful, gorgeous day that you gave us. It reminds us of the love that you have for each and every one of us and our families, to lift up the tragedies that have taken place in our area the past couple of days, and being with their families, and let them be able to feel the touch that you have in the time with the most difficult. We ask that you be with us tonight in our meeting, and guide and direct us. Once again, we thank you for the great love you have for each and every one of us. And we love you too. In Christ's name I pray. Amen. Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you, Ken and David. All right, that moves to number 3, citizen comments. Did we have any citizen comments? Hello.
Hey, I wanted to come up and address the board about the 8.8 acres of the Western Seafood land. It's time that we get that land properly prepared for development and start getting some local interest in building businesses on that waterfront.
Yes.
We've done studies after studies that has cost this board or this EDC a lot of money that have not involved into anything. I've seen what this last study is. It doesn't make sense. The pier system is not legal. You can't build them like that. They're out in the middle of the waterway. They're shading too much of the water. They're not legal under the GLO. So it's almost, I hate to take it with a grain of salt, but it's kind of a pie in the sky. The way that waterfront's going to get developed down there is by local businesses. We're not going to find anybody that will come in and spend $13, $14 million and take a chance. We have to get some local businesses on that waterfront. And to do that, we got to get in there and clean the infrastructure up. You got power lines that need to be moved. You need to move your road, your utilities. You got to make that an attractive property, and we're not there. It is something I would like to see y'all as the board pick a couple citizens with one of your board members, and let's put together a strategic plan to get the utilities replaced and in the proper order. I put this together 5 years ago for another board, and it didn't go anywhere, but that land's not ready for development, and it's y'all's job as the property owners to get it ready and make it attractive to businesses to come and build there. And there is businesses that are local that have an interest to be there on that waterfront. So I would like for y'all to get together and talk about how we can get this property back on the tax roll, because y'all have owned this 6 years. I've already developed out a full block with private streets and homes, and we're not even properly taking care of the property anymore. So as a citizen, I would like to see that property get back on the tax roll for the community. And it can be done pretty simply. We don't need studies by people from out of town that don't even know our city or our waterfront or what the interest is of this waterfront. It's time for us citizens to start putting this together with the board. And I'm just asking y'all, I live there, I watch it every day. It is time for us to do something, and it's your job as the board to get it done. No more pies in the sky. Let's get to reality of what that land is and what it can be used for. Thank y'all.
Thank you for your comments. Any other citizen comments? Okay. Seeing none, we're going to move to number 4, our consent agenda, and then we're going to look at our meeting minutes for January 9th. All right, are there any corrections to the minutes? Seeing none, we'll move on to our financials. Ms. Ezo?
Good evening, board members.
Good evening.
The sales tax that was received in January of 2024 was for was actually for November of 2023. The EDC received $97,735. This was an increase when compared to the same month last year. Currently, the EDC has received $14,407 less in sales tax when compared to the same time last year. As of January 31st, 2024, revenues were under expenditures by $421,849 in the EDC fund. This again is still due to the transfers to the project and marketing funds for the fiscal year. The fund balance is $1,397,953. The fund balance in the EDC projects fund is $1,269,501. The fund balance in the EDC marketing fund is $122,500. The TERS, as of January 31st, has a fund balance of $275,253.64.
Thank you. Do y'all have any questions for Ms. Ezo?
I did have a question actually on the, I don't know if you got that far yet, but according to this, it's page 12 on the financial report. So it has that, our year started in October, right? The end of October? October 31st? Or
October
when is-
1st. October 1st.
October 1st, okay. So it shows that professional fees, legal, we're already at 63%. And that's only, what, 5 months? So can you tell me why we're so high on that?
Those are the bills that have come in, plus any bills on any of the lawsuits that you have ongoing. So it's your regular attorney plus the bills from the lawyers for the lawsuits that you have going.
Okay.
Kathy, I have a question.
Yes, sir.
The, that 14,407, what
Yes.
percentage of that in revenues is that?
The $14,407 for on the sales tax,
Yeah,
it's minimal at this point because
Okay.
sales tax runs 2 months behind. So you still have a long way to go. I mean, you still have 10 more months to go, so it'll be made up. It'll go up, it'll go down, it'll go up and go down throughout this whole 12-month
okay,
period.
so this is kind of standard, that's my
Yes,
question. I was
this
just
is kind of standard. It'll go up, it'll go down. The past couple of years, we've gone up, so I'm projecting that it will go up as we get to the
Okay.
end of the year
Thank you.
as well.
All right. Any more questions for Ms. Ezo? Okay. Seeing none, I'll entertain a motion to approve our consent agenda.
I'll second it.
All right. You gonna make the motion? Sorry.
Yes,
All right.
I'll make the motion.
We got a motion by Ken, and I'll second that. Second by me, to approve our consent agenda. All those in favor, state aye.
Aye.
All opposed, state nay. Motion passed unanimously. And Robert, the motion was by Ken and I seconded. I know it was a little messy. All right, moving on to our discussion and action items. Number 1 is to discuss and take possible action on Mi Pueblito grant application. And that's on page 9, right? No, page 16.
Yes, Mr. President. Mr. President, we have Ivan tonight and his wife from Mi Pueblito. Their grant application is turned in. The only thing that's missing is just a permit, and that's in works right now.
Okay,
But I'm going to let them go ahead and tell you about the project.
good evening.
Good evening. My name is Ivan Martinez, my wife Dorita Martinez, and we turned in for a grant to improve some of the, I guess, remodel for a restaurant, to make maybe a new porch in the front, pour some concrete, add a small storage on the back, and just fix it up a little more so it'll, give a better impression for the, for the town, and, make people more comfortable, and just, that's what we like to do. So that's pretty much why we turn in this application for, to get some help. And of course, we got some money saved to, keep fixing it up a little bit better on different directions. So that's pretty much where we at, and we've been doing so good. Now the place is open. Everybody, we have some, many people come and try our food, and we have received a lot of good comments about it. So, and then we thank God for that, and thank you guys as well for helping us with the first grant. Thank you, all of you guys, and we just hopefully they keep on going and keep doing the best for the town and for us and for everybody.
Okay.
Thank you, thank you.
Well, thank you. Did anyone on the board have any questions for them before they take their seats?
I had a couple of questions. I really appreciate what you guys are doing. It's really impressive. But I don't have any problem with a grant, but I would like to have it contingent on a couple of things. I want you to make sure you get those drawings in. I want to make sure you got your permits. I want to make sure, do you guys have to have a windstorm on that new building? I want you to make sure you got that WPI permit, and I want you to make sure you got your plot plan.
Yes, sir. We're working on that as we speak right now. We have the engineer working on the plot plant, and I believe he's going to turn it in by the end of this week or so, and he's going to work with this other inspector and engineer to get the stamp and everything ready for it and turn it into Miss Shelby. So we're working pretty hard and try to get all these deals situated.
I know it's not easy, but
Right. No, it's not easy, but we have to follow those rules and procedures and everything. Whatever needs to be done, we just follow the rules and get it done the right way.
I have a question for you. Are you the owner of the property, or are you leasing the
I'm
property?
leasing the property from Mr. Willie Garcia.
Really? Okay. How much money is he putting into this project?
He's been helping quite a bit. He's put some money on materials for flooring. I hired some company to do most of the remodels, and he's helping in this situation as well.
You said quite a bit. How much is that?
I
You
would
may
say-
not know that. I don't know.
He buys some materials for the whole entire floor for the property. He buy all the materials for the flooring, the tile, and everything else, and we purchase the labor and, everything else we have done. At least he has helped maybe 20% with the expenses.
And you're doing the rest, other
Yes,
than
sir.
what we can
Yes, sir.
help with?
Correct. We are, my wife and I, with our savings that we have, and we're gonna continue doing this
Okay. All
to
right, thank you.
make it better and everything.
Sure.
Hopefully, he let us keep the place because we're leasing,
I have a question for you. The porch project, what are you going to utilize that for?
The front porch,
Yes.
uh, we're gonna utilize it because, my wife and I talk about it. Mostly because we have, when it rains and sometimes we have people outside or something, and, you know, we wanna put like a little, maybe benches to sit people outside a little bit, you know, make it look prettier and better and more, maybe for shade when the sun is, you know, just something that we would like to do.
For outside dining? Is that what y'all are thinking?
No,
No,
that's not for
okay.
outside dining at all. That's sometimes, you know, when the place is a little bit packed or you order food to go, they want to sit outside and wait for it, you know, just a couple, you know, weatherproof benches, white benches, and maybe we put like a fake flower pots outside. Just make it look nice and pour a little bit of concrete as well because we got a little bit mud here and there. So, she's talking about when we had put it hard rain the other day, from the front door, the water came in from the bottom, you know, when it rained sideways. So, you know, it's more like for protection for the front door as well. And you know, we want to do that for different little things that it will help improve the looks and for more comfortable for the people as well.
Okay. And then the concrete slab wooden fence project, is that for the storage container, the trash dumpster in the back?
Yes, the trash dumpster, and we also want to extend it. There's already a concrete slab on the back of the building, but according to the city rules, we have to, if we're going to build a storage on the back, it has to be 10 foot away from the existing building. So we have to extend our existing concrete. We have to stand 8 foot out and attach the new concrete to the existing concrete and build the storage right on top of it. So the new storage will cover half of the old existing concrete and the new concrete.
Okay.
Did it make sense? And put some bolts and attach it real good to the concrete slab. Anchor it to the concrete slab, to the existing and the new one.
Okay.
So we will be pouring concrete on the back and then in the front.
Okay, thank you.
And also we have to build, we want to see if we can get the small drive-through window. We have a drive-through window. We want to build a small canopy out there as well. So when the ladies open the window to serve the people, they don't get water on their faces.
So are these estimate repairs still accurate? Were these from October of 2023? Are these still good, the figures on here?
That, since it's been turned in past over 30 years, I need to get with those, with the contractor, the SDR people, and I don't see any problem. I think if I can talk to them to help, they very good people to work with, and they pretty much, if they, you know, they see that we want to do good with this business and you guys helping as well, and they willing to go ahead and leave the price the same. I don't see any problem with that. I can talk to them. I know them very, very well.
All right. Any other questions? Sorry, it's no, not from the, not at this time. Okay. All right. Well, thank you for investing in the city. Okay.
Thank you very much.
All right. Do we have any motions coming out of this? Excuse me. We don't have to say it, no.
I would actually like to I know this has come a couple of times before us, but I'd actually like to table it to make sure that their quote will still be
it's accurate.
valid, since it's been so long. I would hate for us to approve something and then it rises in cost. I know there's a maximum that we can do, but that would be something that I would feel more comfortable verifying, making sure that we have exact numbers of actual present-day costs.
I agree with George. I think, I'd like to see that unfold, and then, I don't have any problem giving these folks money. I think they've got a good thing going on, and I appreciate their efforts of coming up here. I think this is the third time, but I still would like to make it contingent upon, the engineering drawings, permits, the windstorm, and the plot plan.
Yeah.
They gotta have
understand.
that. You gotta have
Yeah.
that if you go to the bank.
Any other input? Okay, well, I don't think we have to, but I think I always do it just so that it's on record. I'm gonna go ahead and make a motion to table this until, what do y'all think, our next meeting? That should be enough time, huh? Yeah. Well, Robert, can you please get with them and just reiterate kind of the things that?
You said,
Mhm. Okay. All right. So,
did anybody second it?
no, not yet. Yeah, so we have a motion on the floor. We need a second before we keep discussing.
I'll second that motion.
Okay, so now it's debate and discussion. Any debate or discussion? All right, seeing none, all those in favor of tabling to our next meeting, state aye.
Aye.
All opposed, state nay. Motion passed unanimously. That takes us to number 2 on our discussion and action items, and that's discuss and take possible action on the Rhombus Inc. mega grant application.
Yes, Mr. President, this is the only mega grant that we've received, and we received it from Rhombus Inc. They're doing substantial building on their property. I'm trying to open it up here. They're doing substantial building on their property and would like to get the mega grant because they're currently, their total cost is going to be $290,000. And of that, you have about 92,300 that's eligible under property improvements. Now, the mega grant, you can isolate the whole grant to one improvement, and theirs would all fall under property improvements. So they need the mega grant. We are scheduled to review mega grants in February, so it's timely.
Thank you. And is he?
And tonight, yes, we have
Okay.
Rashawn here, I'm sorry.
Oh, no, it's okay. Good evening.
Good evening, members. My name is Roshan Vimalaratna. I'm the Rhombus Inc. owner and property owner. We have a big project going after 4 months. This plan is done, everything. We can start, I think, this week. I'm going to start. It's going to be like this whole project, for the 231 West 2nd Street.
Sir, did you mind just handing us a copy so we can look at it a little closer? We'll give it back. We just want to see it a little bit closer. Oh, is it in here? I didn't see it. Oh, let me scroll.
Yeah, it's here.
Hold on, I'm scrolling. Yeah, I don't see it. Yeah, I don't see it. Oh, hold on, I think. Oh, okay, I found it. It's page 111. If y'all were looking. He's showing us the picture, it's on page 111, 111. So you gotta scroll for a bit. Thank you. Okay. So this image you're showing us is the end goal? Like, the finishing point?
Yes.
Okay. Ms. Marshall, I see you with your hand up. Can you hear me? Ms. Marshall? Can you hear me?
She said yes.
Okay.
Get my son,
Yes, ma'am.
he back up as soon
Uh-huh.
as he gets back here.
Okay.
But I wanted to ask,
Yes, ma'am.
is this the only mega grant application we have?
Yes, ma'am, it is.
And
Yes.
are we willing to make extension for any more that might come in? I know we did that last year, but I didn't know if that was an option for this year as well.
We did last year, because I think we hadn't received, oh, I'm sorry. We did that last year because I think we hadn't received any mega grants, and then we finally received one from Marlin Marine Works, and we awarded that. But by the timeline that we've drawn up in the grant application, this matches the timeline.
So this will be the only one for this year? We're not accepting any more?
That is correct. We only award one per year. Unless the board, I mean, obviously, the board can decide to do whatever they want, but
Right.
Okay.
And what, your name is Roshan? Yes. And what is this building going to be used for?
It's coming restaurant.
A what? I'm sorry.
Restaurant.
A restaurant?
Yeah.
That's a restaurant?
Sir, can you please step forward to the microphone? Thank you.
Oh, doesn't look like a restaurant. Does it?
Not really.
It's a restaurant? It's going to be restaurant? Okay. What type of food, do you know yet? Soul food. Soul food? Oh, okay.
Oh, look, see, they have the floor plan here.
Oh, it just doesn't look like it from this one. Okay. Thank you.
This will be inside, right? Air
Yes.
conditioned?
Yes.
Do you know how many jobs it will
Should be
create?
9 or 10.
9 to 10 jobs? Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you.
I attach already a business plan too.
Okay.
Yeah.
Will it be sitting, I hate to keep lingering on this, is it going to be sitting on the area where all those warp boards have been put down?
Front have deck.
Sir?
Front
front's gonna have a deck.
deck, yes.
Oh, the front's gonna have a deck.
It's already
That's
on
the
there.
deck, then inside, full covered.
Okay.
That's how planned, you know.
And that's right across from Sweet Tea's?
Yes.
Yeah. That's what I'm speaking of,
Yes.
the deck that's already there.
Whole property, that's for me. That everything, that belongs to me. Yeah.
Okay.
I'm doing one by one something, bringing for the downtown, you know.
All right. Do we have any other questions? Okay.
And this is going to be fully enclosed, because the picture that you showed us and the one that's in our
Yes, front
packet,
is open,
the front is open.
Yes,
So
that's
it's
the
not
deck.
fully enclosed.
but inside like all closed, you know. It's look nice after build. Yeah.
Okay.
All right. Thank you. Did
Thank
you have
you,
a
sir.
question for him?
No, I just wanted to ask
Oh,
you a question
okay.
about the deadline.
Oh, for the mega grant?
You're gonna be reviewing them through February?
Through February.
So the deadline is the end of February to get an application for the
Yes.
mega grant? Is that what you're saying? So if you did another one in February, then that one would be considered
Considered.
too? That's what I'm, just what I want to verify. Correct?
Yes.
Okay.
Okay.
Sorry.
All right. Yeah, I guess not.
You probably should
Yeah.
table it.
Okay. I thought yeah, we all kind of, you know, like dominoes. Okay.
Well, but before he leaves and before we table this, when did you want to start construction on this?
I'm starting this week. Already done everything. I had to take the
Yeah,
permit out.
okay, thank you.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah.
Well, once again, the board could do, I mean, we could, I haven't seen any grants that are looking to do the mega grant. And this is the first one we've received all year. And the board could take that time into consideration and say, I mean, the mega grants are supposed to be evaluated in February and then decided upon in March, but this is the only one, so they're not competing against anything.
So February is just the evaluation of the,
Yes.
just seeing what we got, right?
Let's see what we
Okay,
have.
okay. And we only have one.
We only have
Okay,
one,
I see.
and I'm not expecting any more.
Okay, well, we've got, what, 10 days, 15 days left in February? 16? I don't know, this is leap year. So we can wait, 16, what, another week, that's what, 20 days?
But the problem is.
He's ready to start.
Yeah.
Right, yeah, okay, I see. Well, does anybody else have any input?
I know you said you haven't received any calls about inquiring or anything?
Nothing.
Nothing to that magnitude anyway?
This is the only mega grant that we've received or anybody that's asked for it. The mega grant, you can get more in a regular grant if you separate your categories. But the mega grant is perfect for somebody like what Rashawn's doing, where he's only got one category that he's spending all that money in. So this would be a very good application because he would need the mega grant to fully capitalize on the amount he could get. If he didn't get a mega grant, the most he could get would be 20,000 rather than the 30,000.
I mean, I personally feel like it's somewhat of a disservice to him because I mean, he's ready to start. But again, we're a board, we make decisions on voting, so y'all tell me.
Why do we want to table it? What's the reason for that, instead of making the decision?
Well, the official decision is not supposed to be made until March.
Is it March or could be up to March? So is it a technicality just to move it?
I don't know.
Robert, I had called you about scheduling an appointment with a person that I know that has a business that may want to do that. So
Oh, I
that's
see.
why I'm kinda- And they're recent new owners, so that's why they haven't done it. Sorry.
Oh, no, thank you for
Just saying.
explaining. Uh-huh.
Informational.
So Robert, if this new group, if they wanted to do the same kind of thing, if they followed this guy's format right here, that would be exactly what you would need?
It would be exactly what I'd need, yes. And I hadn't heard anything about a mega grant until now, but again, it would be interesting, because I know of the appointment that she speaks of. I have an appointment to meet with them when they get back into town.
Okay.
But it may be something that just needs the regular grant, and they can get just as much money as a mega grant. This one screams for the mega grant, again, because it is one category
Okay.
that they need.
Oh,
And-
I see, okay.
Explain the petition you were talking about. If you petitioned it into certain things, then you could maybe get more.
Yes, you can get, if you have a sign and property improvements and facade improvements, you can
Okay.
get 10,000 for the facade improvements, 10,000 for the property improvements, and 3,500 for the sign. And you can combine all those into a regular grant.
What about concrete?
Concrete would be property improvement.
Okay.
So are we ready for a motion?
Yeah.
This gentleman he wants to improve his business. Unfortunately, I can't. Sorry, Ms. Nancy. I'm right into the mic without actually eating the mic. This gentleman wants to improve the business, and so I'm going to make a motion to approve the mega grant as presented.
All right, we have a motion by George to approve the mega grant as presented. Do we have
second.
I
a
second.
second? Sandra Beachy. A second from Sandra. Any debate or discussion on this?
Just want to make a comment on it. Rashawn has been planning on these improvements for quite some time, well over a year, maybe even 2.
Okay.
And it's all about trying to bring people downtown and get some life back downtown, and this is just one way to start that.
Yeah.
So it's a good thing, I think.
I agree.
And I would make one more comment, if I may. The grant favors downtown businesses, if you recall. In the language of the grant, it specifically states that downtown grants get favor.
All right. Any other debate or discussion?
Yeah, I do have a comment.
Yes, ma'am.
I'm gonna vote on the grant tonight, but I really feel like we might need to, maybe push back the application deadline for the mega grant in the future. This is kinda early in the fiscal year. If the fiscal year is over not until October, this is really early, so I think that maybe a lot of people don't realize that the grant application is this early in the fiscal year. So I would like for us to not talk about it tonight, but maybe
Yes, ma'am.
in the future, possibly pushing back that deadline to give people more of an opportunity and more time to apply for the mega grant.
Makes sense.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you. All right. All those in favor? This is for approving the grant as presented. All those in favor, state aye.
Aye.
All opposed, state nay. Motion passed unanimously. And that takes us to number 3 on our discussion and action items. Discuss and take possible action on Bryan Beach signage. All right, Robert.
Yes, Mr. President, the sign at Bryan Beach is completed, but we have figured that there might be a little more that needs to be done. So we're reapproaching, and Gardo is going to come up and speak about exactly what needs to be done and how much that would be.
The sign project went very well, but once we got it put up, put it together, got back standing away where you'd be at the intersection looking at it, it was actually my girlfriend kind of sitting there saying, hey, that looks great, and people will see it, and they'll say, you know, welcome to Freeport's Bryan Beach, but they're already there. But if you had an area around that sign that was clean and neat where they could take pictures, everybody wants to take pictures with their phones of where they're at, then you're sending that sign out into the media and you're getting it out. It's called a leader again. It's getting out to their friends, and they go, well, they're out there, let's go out there, because it posts immediately. And the way it is now, you're going to have to keep it mowed around it and keep it taken care of. And at first, we talked about doing rock around it. I talked with Robert, but after we went out there after another good rain, because I've been slopping around at that thing for several weeks, it really, with the storm conditions and where that sign is, doesn't necessarily have to be a hurricane. It could be a tropical storm that will bring water that far. So if we do it with rock, we could cover it up with sand. Once that's done, it's pretty much tear it out, replace it, do it again. It almost cost, it would run me about $4,500 to do it out of rock with your border and put a couple, I've got some really nice chop blocks that would go in there that we didn't use on another job, and we can set them out there. But I got talking to the concrete guy this morning, and I do a lot of the work myself. They'll come and do my finish work. It almost makes more sense to spend a couple $1,000s more. If y'all want to do it, bid it, I don't care. There's very little profit in this. But I think you're better off as a board to put concrete down if you're going to do a base. And then if the sand covers it, you take it and scrape it off and pressure clean it. Your concrete's still there. If your concrete's not there, you don't have to worry about it anyway because your sign's gone. It's pretty simple. But I personally, if it was my project that I was paying for and I was going to have to fix it, I would spend a little bit extra money and probably put a concrete border. What I'm looking at, sign 16 foot wide. We'd go at 16 foot, go behind it just a little bit so you don't have to pay for maintenance of weed eating and mowing out there. Then come out somewhat about 20, 22 foot in front of it. We can put some poles in it to keep people from driving on it, more like your state highway poles that they put out, and it'll kind of enhance with the poles that are already there holding the sign up. But we can set them blocks I have, and even if you get somebody else to do it, you can come and get the blocks and put them on there, okay? But it'll give them a place to sit, get their picture taken, and maybe it'll get you more people out there. But at the point of the expense of it, you know, you're looking at $4,500 basically out of the rock and the border lines and your geotech that you're gonna lay below it so it doesn't just sink in the mud. But if you do it out of concrete, you're gonna have a pretty substantial border around your sign that people also can walk up and see that there's none of the little rattlesnakes that we seem to have out at our beaches. So it gives you a little bit better visual when you're walking up on it. So that just being said, I'm just addressing this to y'all. Me and Robert had talked about it. I think it'd enhance it a little bit. But it's strictly up to y'all if y'all want to do it. And did anybody go out and look at the sign? Did you like it, Mark?
Absolutely.
Okay.
I looked at a picture of it.
Good job.
It looks good.
That's pretty good there.
Yeah.
Yeah. I hope y'all get out there and get a chance to look at it. But, you know, this is just presenting it to you, and y'all can do it however you want.
Okay.
Thank y'all.
Thank you. Okay. So,
I would be
if y'all want to
interested.
decide tonight, we can, like,
I was gonna say, I'd be interested in just seeing a quote, Cardo, for, and then some type of rendering of how it would look. I have an idea of what you're explaining.
I'm not
I know you're not an
architect,
artist.
drawing guy. I'm not going to spend the money on that,
No.
waste y'all's money on it. It'll run you $6,000 to do it out of concrete.
Mhm.
And it's pretty close. I mean, there's going to be some money in there for Jill Campbell Homes, but we have to have a little bit for our insurance. And so, you know, I'm just kind of, I'll once again, as I stated when I bid this the first time, I am tired of seeing money spent very unwisely as far as, I'm sorry to say that to y'all, but that other bid that came in on that sign was about $22,000 over my bid.
Gordo, couple of questions. How thick's the slab?
It'd be a 4-inch slab, 18-inch center on 3/8 rebar.
Got it. That's it.
Okay.
Like it.
all right. But you can get us a quote, right?
I just did.
Well,
I can write it up.
Yes.
Yeah, I can write it up and send it
Okay.
to you. Yeah, I can do
thank
that.
you.
Yeah.
All right. Anything else anybody needs? Okay. All right.
I like the idea. I mean, he's right. From what I saw out there, I thought, you know, a little bit of something around it.
Yeah, I thought the same thing when I looked at the picture. Yeah.
And I thought the sign, if you haven't seen it, you need to go see it. It's really pretty good. Really good job, so. Anyway.
All right. Do we have any motions coming out of this, or are we gonna hold on?
Unless you really want to see something, George?
I just really wanted the quote in writing. I mean,
Yeah.
I'm for it. I can picture it, what he's describing, but I didn't know if everybody else wanted to see it. But I mean, I'm okay with it.
Yeah.
Can you repeat that, Mr. Matamoros? I couldn't hear you.
Okay.
Sorry.
I was just saying, I just wanted to see a quote. I can picture what Gardo's designing and gonna have out there. So I'm for it, just as long as we have the quote. I'm for with the price that he quoted us.
Yeah, we should probably get like an itemized quote, in some capacity, just so that,
We'll send you one just like we did for the sign.
Okay.
It'll give you a description of the work that we're gonna do,
Mhm.
and, then, it's up to y'all. We're
Okay.
glad to do it.
Thank you. All right. So do we have any motions? Hearing that? Because you can make the motion contingent upon receiving a quote, so, and,
I'll make a motion that we accept the proposal from Gordo, and with the contingent that he put forth some type of rendering so we can take a look at it.
okay. All right, motion's been made. Do we have a second? Rendering or quote? Because,
Yeah, quote or
Mark.
rendering?
I'd like to see the quote and then contingent upon Gordo giving us a rendering of how he's gonna do, whatever.
I'm gonna give you a quote estimate on the cost of the job. I don't do drawings, and I'm not gonna go pay Moonlight to do a drawing of a concrete slab.
I got you.
It's gotta kinda see this out of the visual of your eyes. And I promise you, it'll look as good as the sign does. But the quote, I'll write it up on how it's gonna be built, how it's gonna be designed, and
That's
then I'll
perfect.
send you a picture when it's done.
That's
Okay?
good.
I can do that.
I like it.
All right.
I'm good with it.
okay.
Okay.
So,
together in a motion and do it.
all right, your motion, just to specify, it's with requesting a quote, right? An itemized quote? Okay, all right. And did we have a second for that motion?
I'll second it.
Okay. We have a motion and a second. Is there any debate or discussion? All right, seeing none, all those in favor state aye.
Aye.
All opposed state nay. All right, motion passed unanimously. Did you get who the motion and?
Yes.
Okay, all right. All right, moving on to number 4. Discuss and take possible action on Gerard's Hardware Store.
So I had asked for this to be placed on this agenda, and I was speaking with Miss Lisa Gerard, and they asked for us to hold off on this. They would like to push this back later in the year. They're busy with the business and then their other businesses. So this is something that they just asked for us to table it, and then later on in the year, they'll ask to bring it up.
All right. And George, can you please make that a motion, just since we're in the practice of it?
Okay, gonna make a motion to table this.
Can you make it a motion to table to an
Indefinitely. Yeah.
indefinite period of time? Otherwise, it has to come up on the next.
Oh,
Do I have to be specific on the
No.
month? Okay.
No.
So I'll make a motion to table this item for an indefinite period of time when the Gerards are ready for this to come back.
all right. We have a motion on the floor to table this indefinitely. Is there a second?
Second.
All right, second by Sandra. Any debate or discussion? All right, all those in favor, state aye.
Aye.
All opposed, state nay. Motion passed unanimously. Moving on to number 5 on our discussion and action items. Discuss and take possible action on the Gensler project.
Yes, Mr.
Mr.
President.
Johnson? Mhm.
Yes, Mr. President, I spoke to Jonathan, and about the Gensler project. They're ready to do the community session. We've had enough time for people to look at the model, but we don't have any budget. And so if we're going to proceed and move forward, we need to allot more money to the Gensler project, because we're at the 25,000. We've spent the 25,000 now that we allotted.
And just so everyone understands, like the community session is for the community to come and
The
like
community
it's
comes
like an
and
open
talk.
forum, correct?
Yes, and they talk
for
about
feedback.
the model that they left us, and talk about the project in general, and give comments and critiques and suggestions.
Okay, yeah. All right. You saying you can't hear? Y'all said you can't hear, correct? Okay, yeah. Use the mic.
He was, didn't he?
Okay.
I think he had it, but I don't know.
I thought I was, okay. What was I saying?
You were just saying the community session is for people to come and critique the model and give input, and then they'll go back and, potentially make changes to it based on the feedback from the
Right.
public.
That's exactly correct.
All right. Any input from the board? And how much is the community session?
The community session would be at least $4,000.
Oh, okay. I was expecting like a lot more.
But then we'd want to get, well, I guess we could get that out of marketing budget, but we'd want to get refreshments and things like that
Oh, okay.
also. But I'm wondering if we should approve more so that we can continue to
Oh, I
move
see.
forward. Would be my suggestion.
That's your suggestion, you said? Approve more so we can just continue to move forward? How much do you think?
I was thinking that we could do another 25,000 like the original,
Okay.
and that way we don't have to keep approving.
I feel like if we had, because last time we had like what we called a menu where we could select and the prices were there.
Oh. Okay.
So I feel like if maybe we knew,
Well, we can just do the community session, and I can get that information from them after the community session. I feel like after the community session, everybody will have more of a definite idea. They'll go back
kind
to the
of,
drawing board
yeah.
on some things and what they need to spend and all that. So maybe we should just get through the community session and leave it at that.
okay, yeah, because this is, I think, and me personally, I think the community session is very necessary because that's where, the public, people that live here, give their input on the plans. And again, the plans have already changed based on some input just from the board at the time. And that they changed quite a bit from the original one. So these things are always changing. So if this passes, those of us that are here, be sure to attend the community session so that, you can give your input. All right. Anything else? Go ahead.
So the community session is
sorry.
4,000, you said?
Yes, ma'am.
And so are we just going to go ahead with that amount for now so we can have the community session and then approve the larger amount later?
Yes, ma'am, pretty much. That's what me and Robert kind of decided in our sidebar that we had. Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
All right.
Yeah, I want to see something happen out there in a really bad way. The boardwalk, whatever, I think that whatever else happens out there will happen because we've already addressed the riverfront property. The Western Seafood will come after that when people see a nice job done on the riverfront. So
Yes.
I don't want to spend good money unnecessarily on the project. So we have to, as a board, I think, be committed to moving forward with this and not just spend another $4,000 and then not do anything with it.
Yeah.
So
No,
I think
agree.
we need that consensus that we want to move forward with this and to make it worthwhile.
When are you proposing to have the community session?
I would propose to have it in March.
Oh, okay.
I mean,
Yeah, because I know Gensler's, they're pretty ready, you know.
Yep.
To do that.
we've had the model for long enough now, and people have had a chance to see it.
Is there any way we can do this towards the end of February in a special meeting of some sort? That way it's dedicated just for that and not tied in with a whole bunch of other stuff?
The community session?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, it would be a separate
Okay.
It would be a-
event. And
yeah, it
it
would
wouldn't even be an
definitely be
EDC meeting
separated.
because you want, how it was explained to me, you want the public to feel more comfortable. You know, a meeting is more formal and this is more something for everyone to feel like they can say
Right.
whatever they want about it and give whatever input. And kind of those changes could be made, you know, if they are feasible. Mhm. All right, did y'all have any other questions?
Yeah, what was the proposed date again?
Mr. Johnson said March, and then David said he was asking if we could do it towards the end of February.
Robert, quick question. The amount, is that for a specific weekday, or is it for any day?
I presume any day. I didn't ask that question of whether it's a specific day of the week.
Okay. And the reason I'm asking is I would want to make sure that it's a day that we have maximum attendance. So it may not be a workday week, it may have to be a Saturday. And if we do it in March, I want to make sure that we don't do it spring break week.
Oh, yeah.
Right.
Because again.
Yeah, I
maximum
was
exposure.
thinking either early March or late March, because I had thought of the spring break. I hadn't thought of the Saturday or Sunday.
Yeah, I agree. I agree. I pretty much just second what George just said. Yeah, it makes a lot of sense to me also.
But when Jonathan and I talked, we talked about March, and he was amenable to that.
Okay.
Can we give this project more of an official name? I've been calling it everything, Boardwalk, Gensler Project. I'm not really sure what we're calling it.
In the packet, it's listed as the Gensler Project.
Just keep it in as Gensler Project?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Sounds good to me.
Mm-hmm. All right.
And then how will we, try to get more, public participation? Because I know when we had the, public hearing, there was
Mm-hmm.
not a lot of people here at all. And I would really like to be able to have this presentation done to a larger audience so that we could get some true feedback on what the public thinks about this particular project.
Mm-hmm. Yes, ma'am.
So I'm just trying to think of how can we push the information out there to encourage more public participation.
Oh, the water bill.
I was going to say a water bill, but I don't know how long, I'd defer to the city manager on that. How long do you need lead time to get something into the water bill?
You'll have to check with utility bill.
Okay, I'll check with utility billing, but the water bill would be, Jerry took it right out of my, mind. That's what I was thinking, the water bill would be a great way to promote this if we can. They need a little lead-up time, so I'd have to see how long that would be.
Okay. All right, do we have anything else? Because these are good questions.
And it would be here with a PowerPoint or something to that effect, or?
Would it? I'm not sure about location.
I was kind of thinking River Place.
Okay, that's even better.
So I'll make a motion to approve the $4,000 request to have the, community session with Gensler for the Gensler project, for a date and time to be determined by Robert and Gensler.
Who's speaking?
That was
Sorry.
George, Ms. Marshall. He just made a motion to approve the 4,000 for the community session. And then we don't have the specific date yet, but. All right, so we have a motion on the floor, and we need a second before we talk further.
I'll second.
All right, so we have a motion by Ms. Marshall and a second by Mark. Any other debate or discussion? All right, seeing none, all those in favor state aye.
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 All opposed state nay. Motion passed unanimously. All right, we'll move on to number 6, discuss and take possible action on the Parks project.
Yes, Mr. President, this is just more of an update, but Lance and I had gone to Phillips 66 and done the presentation for the Parks project. That went well. I've talked to David Winder of BASF. I've got an email out to Wendy Irwin of Chevron Phillips, Gabriella Cohn, who referred me to Jeff Litchun, I think is how you pronounce his name. I talked to him via email at Dow Chemical, and Trish Thompson from ME Global have all been contacted. Along with that, I'm looking at getting on the Community Advisory Board to talk en masse to the business community. But I don't need anything. We're just piecing together days where we can go on this world tour that we're going to go on and do this presentation. I'm excited about it.
Sounds good. Thank you for the update. Did y'all have any questions while we're on this?
Just to give a further update, I was present with the Phillips 66 because they are my employer, and I have been in contact with our community relations. We should hopefully be getting an allotment for the refinery later this week, and at that time, she was very excited about the project. The presentation went really well, so I'd like to thank Robert and Lance for putting that together. And she was impressed by all of the information we provided, so looking forward to hearing really soon their involvement and the other involvement from the other community partners.
All right.
Will they be here for the next meeting?
That I'm not sure. I would have to make sure and see how we would prefer to do that. But we'll try and figure out a way to, once we get this going, the people who are corporations who provide, then we'll have them attend a meeting.
I have one other thing, if I may. I forgot to mention Ms. Turner from LNG, Freeport LNG. Our fire chief had put in a request for, or a proposal for a new fire truck, but she said that would come first before the Parks project, but she did take the presentation, and I'm waiting for her response. I didn't mention her when I mentioned all the others. So I didn't forget Freeport LNG. They're looking at getting us a new fire truck first.
Thank you. All right. Anything else on the Parks project? All right, we'll go ahead and move on to number 7. Discuss and take possible action on joint Main Street and TERS Board walking tour. Main Street TERS Board walking tour, sorry.
Yes, Mr. President, I met with the Main Street Board, and Anna Silbus is here tonight, about possible dates that we can do the walking tour. Anna, myself, and Lance went on a pre-walking tour of the downtown, just looking at areas we could do catalytic infrastructure improvements. And so we wanted to have this joint meeting that we've been talking about, but Anna?
Hello. Hi, everyone. Good evening.
Good evening.
Anna Silva's Main Street Coordinator, and I am here on behalf of Main Street, the Freeport Historical Commission, and Main Street Advisory Board. Ms. Shonda, a while back, had requested to get more information regarding the mission of Main Street. So myself, Robert, and Ms. Shonda and Lance also had a meeting, and Robert and myself have come to the conclusion to further host this joint TERS and Main Street Board walking tour. The date that we are looking at is February 27th at 5 p.m.
Yes, it provided the board can make it at 5 p.m.
And this is just a way to gather the key stakeholders to identify areas of improvement within the TERS boundaries. I know that some of my board members have had questions as far as, what are the Main Street boundaries? So some of my board members, I've had given them tours around, shown them what is on file with the Texas Historical Commission. And just for us to collaborate together and ensure that we're working in alignment and not in silos. So I think it's really important for us to meet. Additionally, in regards to this meeting, myself along with Robert have met with the Texas Main Street program as well as UTSA. So this meeting, this TERS, joint TERS and Main Street Board meeting, would set us up for our community visioning session, which we are hosting March 26th. We have it scheduled for River Place. And in regards to the water bill notice, I had talked to Kathy, and we had to have ours in by March 5th to go in the March water bill. If that gives you kind of a timeline of that.
Thank you.
So we would like to have you all invited to that as well. So we're working with UTSA on that, but this will help us to collaborate more on gathering ideas to what the vision is for the TERS boundaries, which encompass the downtown as well.
And did y'all have any questions for her? You said February 27th?
27th is the joint
Tuesday, right?
TERS and Main Street, yes,
Oh, okay,
Tuesday.
okay.
And that would be at Freeport City Hall. Yeah.
We'd meet
Third
at City
floor,
Hall?
yeah, third floor training room.
Okay. All right, so everybody, I'm putting it in right now.
And I can send a calendar invite. If
Oh,
needed.
yes, yeah.
That's always great.
Yes, please.
One of my board members loves calendar invites, so I
I
can
do
send
too.
that as well.
All right. Did y'all have any other questions for Anna? All right, I guess not. Thank you.
Thank you.
And I guess this doesn't require any motion from us, so we're just write the date down, huh? Okay. All right, well, it's time for number 6, Board and Executive Director comments. And Ms. Marshall, can you please start us off? We're at board member comments.
You want me to start?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. I just want to thank those that came out to give citizens comments tonight. that we didn't have the Mardi Gras parade. I was actually looking forward to that. So, but I know the weather was, not allowing that to happen, so, we'll just look forward to having an even better time on next year. The only thing that I would like to request, and this is for our executive director. So I know that the summer is coming up, and I would like to see an opportunity for our food truck businesses to be able to be out and about selling their products with their food trucks. Now, I know in the not so distant past, there was some issues with food trucks and some of the regulations that our city ordinances placed on our food truck businesses. And so with that being said, I would really like to see us have maybe like a BRNE breakfast for our food trucks to let them know, first of all, that they are welcome here in Freeport, that we welcome them, we welcome their businesses, we want them to flourish, we want them to be successful. And then to sit down with them at this same breakfast and maybe talk about some of the ways that we can help them to be successful. Even if that means taking a look at some of the ordinances and seeing what we can do to maybe lift some of those restrictions so that we can have more food truck businesses. You know, like, I would like to see food trucks be a little bit closer to the beach. We get a lot of good beach traffic during the summertime. And so I just want us to be able to help our food truck businesses to flourish and to prosper. You know, the fact that they want to be here is big, and so we need to do what we can to encourage that and to help them to be successful. So, Mr. Executive, if you don't mind, you know, I would like to see us maybe put something together as far as a BRNE breakfast for our food truck businesses, so we can start conversations with them, so that maybe they can have a pretty successful summer, and they can be more visible in our city. Other than that, I don't have anything else. I just want to encourage everyone to continue to shop Freeport first, as Mr. Councilman Morris puts it. I think that's a very good way of putting it. You know, we just want to make sure that our businesses are flourishing and that we can encourage more sales tax revenue in our city and not give away all of our sales tax revenue to other cities in the area. Let's put some here at home. And that's one of the reasons why I want to see us really work on our food truck businesses, so we can bring in more sales tax revenue to the city of Freeport and encourage our small businesses to grow. You know, maybe if they're successful with food trucks, they can start at their own brick and mortar. So that would be great. That would be great for the city of Freeport, because we need more sit-down restaurants. So, but other than that, that's all I have. Thank you very much.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you. Mark?
As always, it's tough to follow her. I think, Robert, thank you for putting together the thing on the mowing. That was very beneficial. What we've done, I think we've got 3 people now that are going to submit bids. I think Gordo's going to do one as well. And what Robert put together for us, he put together a format where everything was laid out in the city, and we redacted the contract that we had so that everybody was kind of on the same page. And I hope that's hopeful that's going to be successful, give us a good realm anyway. I know that, Robert, we're hoping maybe that we can have a single contractor, do the job, but I think, we might want to revisit that and look at it from, having some guys do, things better than others. Secondly, I think, from my standpoint, I see the city, moving in a really, really good direction. I was very impressed with the board that we've got and the people that we have here in Freeport. And I just want to try to, I like Freeport first. It's a good thing.
Thank you, Mark. George?
I'd like to thank all the residents who attended in person, and those that commented. This board's doing some really good things. We have some items that are coming up. I just request that the public get involved. Give us your feedback. That way we understand what the residents want to see. We have ideas, but our ideas may be different from what the residents want to see. This board, I know we put in a lot of time to make sure that we go over everything. So I would like to say thank you to everybody who puts in the hard work. I did say that once this parks project was starting to get off the ground, that I would resign my position. So this will be my last meeting. I will be resigning. I have a plate full with council, but I feel this board is in a very good position. It'll allow a person that council picks to get a few months in, and if they decide that they want to continue when my term would end, it will allow that. So I've enjoyed my time with each and every one of y'all, with Robert. It's been an eye-opening experience, and so thank y'all. I appreciate it. I'll still be around. Y'all may not see me every meeting, but you'll see me every now and then. Thank y'all. Oh, and shop Freeport first.
Thank you, George. I'll just say thank you for everyone who came out tonight. We appreciate it, and a lot of them left, but those of y'all that stayed, thanks for staying. And I'm just really looking forward to all the things that we've got coming down to the parks in Gensler, and we have a sign on the beach, and that's been talked about for since my first meeting on EDC, which was in 2021. So, some things have taken a lot of time, and it's good to see some of those things starting to come to fruition. And so I think if we just keep on this track, and then also I would reiterate George's message to the public, like, get involved, because there's multiple scenarios and situations, and I know the people watching and here are probably the people that'll be there, but I'll say it anyways, where, we've got a community session for the museum, the downtown board, right? We have a community session for the 8 acres and plans for that, plans that can change based on community input. So it is important for the public to get involved, because that's how change happens. And of course, always shop Freeport first when you can. Thank you. All right, Ms. Loaiza?
Threw me off there. Usually I'm last.
Oh, yeah.
I actually don't have very much, but just want to mimic also, I'm excited about having the joint meeting in March with Kinsler. I think David mentioned this. We really need to step it up on that, not let it fall on the sidebar again. And just, it was, I think we missed 2 holidays, MLK and Mardi Gras for the city. So it was a little sad that we couldn't have those parades, because it does bring a lot of people to the city, but I'm sure we're going to have some other ones coming up. But think actually that's all I have. And then also, Robert, thank you. I know you'll probably go over it, but his lengthy report that he sends us is very informative of what he keeps us on the know of what he's working on. It's a lot, so I can't go into all the detail. I'm sure he will. But thank you for that report, Robert.
Ken? Okay. Yeah, all of you folks that do come to our meetings that are here, some have left earlier, but you that show up, it means a lot to us for being here. And for the folks that watch online, that also means a lot because my point is any suggestions, ideas, thoughts that you have will help us. It may be something that we have never even thought about. And mention it to us. If you see us on the streets or in restaurants, just come up to us and talk to us about that. Also, George, thank you for when I got on last year for kind of guiding me through some things, and appreciate you everything that you have done for the Economic Development Corporation here in Freeport. So, but that's just about it. Just keep talking to us, and let's run with it and get things going, and we appreciate you. Thank you.
Thanks, Ken. David?
Real simple, echoing pretty much what everybody's already said. I like doing something with the beachfront with the food trucks or some sort of vendors like that out there near that. I really like that idea and think it would be a good thing. Thank George for doing what you did for us, and we appreciate it greatly. This parks thing is going to be a very good thing. Thank you so much. Thank Robert for his director's notes. Those are vital to knowing what's going on a daily basis. So I appreciate that. Appreciate the entire board. We're working together and trying to get things done. One note on the Mi Pueblito. I ate breakfast there this past weekend, and it is spectacular. I mean spectacular. So I encourage y'all to go eat there. And like everybody else says, shop Freeport, spend your money here, and give us all the feedback you can. Thanks so much.
Thanks, David. Robert, did you have any comments?
Yes, the ICSC conference, Red River Conference went well, as I noted in my report. I won't go over everything that's in the report for time's sake. We are, as Anna mentioned, we're starting the UTSA study, and so that's getting off the ground. It's vitally important that we participate in that. We've had a couple meetings with them already, and with the Texas Historical Commission, we had a meeting to bring them on board with the project. So hopefully that can help revitalize our downtown. One thing that I didn't say about the parks program, the city council is going to have myself and Lance give the presentation that we gave at our meeting to the city council so that they are aware of what the parks program is. The hiring process is going well. I've got interviews all week this week. I've already had one interview, and I've got 5 more this week. So I appreciate everybody's patience. I know things have slowed down a little bit, but that's because I'm trying to be 2 people right now. And you'll notice we've got things like our video back up and things like that. So it's slow going, but we're getting back up to speed with that, and I appreciate everybody's patience. That's all I have. Thank you. Oh, no, one more thing. On top of all that, and Lance, feel free to chime in, our office is going to move, so we'll be closed. Are you already aware of this?
Yes, I heard about it.
Okay, yeah, the office is going to move, and so we're going to be packing up in February 26th.
Yeah, we're scheduled to move on March the 8th. The second abatement of City Hall is going to require removing the piping and a lot of things that's going to make that building unusable for the time being. So council has entered into a lease at the old petrochemical building. So we'll be leasing that entire 3 floors over there and occupying that space until we make a decision in the future of which direction we're going with City Hall or what we're going to do there. But yeah, we're scheduled to move in on March the 8th.
And pack up on the 26th, right?
Yeah, we'll be working on getting things ready to go for the movers to come and get us all moved and transferred in so there's no disruption with the service to the public. So, but yeah, and also moving over there, EDC and Main Street will be on the second floor. 90% of City Hall will be on the first floor. So EDC will actually have their own little area on one side of the building with their own conference room and things like that. So they'll have a little bit more privacy in that building as well. So that is the plan. Thank you.
And finally, I'd like to thank George for your service. It's been invaluable. The advice and things that you've done for me have been invaluable, and I really appreciate you. We'll be seeing you certainly on the council. I'm glad you're on there, and thank you for everything that you've done for this board. It's really been good.
Thank you, Robert. Okay, that takes us to item, or number 7. It is now 7:42 p.m., and I hereby recess the regular session of the Freeport Economic Development Corporation meeting and do hereby convene into executive session in compliance with Texas Government Code Section 551.071, consultation with attorney, 551.087, economic and community development matters, and Section 551.074, personnel matters.
Just dropping a bomb on me like
Yeah,
that.
it's like
I'm like, what? Really? You couldn't forewarn somebody?
now it's like, just like brace yourselves for like losing it.